It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topic bussin'. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet I night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy be. What they say, live and level, live and level. We on that MIC, live and level, live and level. We just talking them games, live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are in the internets. We are in your ears. We are making noise. We are going crazy. Oh my God, it is chaos. Oh, I don't know what to do. That was too much, wasn't it? What's up, folks? What's up? Welcome to the show. This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are in your ear for the next few minutes. I don't know how long, however we choose to talk, but we didn't want to wait too much longer because we just don't have the time. People got to go, got things to do. So while we're here, we're going to talk. So what's up, Mr. Norris? Okay, Mr. K-Bone supposed to be jumping on here in a second. We got people signing in. I see people, but I don't see names. So if you hear us, go ahead and let us know that you're in the live chat. Put your name up there so I can see, not only see, be able to shoot you a shout out live on the air. But what's been good, bro? Right. Man, it's real. Have they sent y'all home? That's it. You at home now? Right. Okay. Yeah, I just got an email from our campus, and it looked like at the end of this week they sending us on home till the 19th of April. So we're gonna be out for a while. I don't know how it's gonna work because my type of work ain't really able to do from home. I can't do setups and event stuff at the crib, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But I know we getting paid, so however they want to work that out, I'm good with it. You know, I guess it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be like a little extended vacation or something. So, but yeah, man. Any movies or anything you've been into, or you just want to jump right into the conversation? What you want to do? Oh, I own that. I own that. Yeah, it's already on there. It's already on there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fast. I was shocked when I saw it up there, but yeah, I bought it for the girls, so it didn't matter. They frozen fanatics, so I ain't have a choice. As soon as they saw it in the store, it was not option to leave without. So yeah, I already bought it. They watch it in the car, in the truck, and in the house. They stream it. I got the digital, the Blu-ray, the 4K all of it. Like they fanatics in that. So yeah. I just went and bought Jumanji too, and yeah, the newest one. And I'm gonna, well, I guess three now. I guess that'll be three. Uh, well, you got the original Jumanji, then you got the reboot. Yeah, that's why I was like, when you said two, I was like, oh, maybe it is three. You got the reboot. I mean, you got the original, the reboot, and then the part two of the reboot. So I got two or three, however you want to look at it. So I'm gonna watch that probably tonight when we eat. Wife cooking, so. But anyway, outside of that, man, just been trying to stay away from this coronas virus. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Yeah. I like what you. Yeah, I've been hearing that too. But they took the whole C off of it. Just Rona. Somebody said don't the next person bring that Rona around here won't be alive or something like that they had on their stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into what you've been gaming on. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm trying to see. See, I would have knew that, but this thing acting up, man, and not showing me that y'all on here, and I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. I ain't finna get mad at it. It was working fine last week. Now I don't want to work. You know how technology is. I'll figure it out later. But if you in this live chat, let us know you in here. We finna get into what you been gaming on. Let's go. It is. It's playing. Y'all can't hear it, I guess. Yeah, it's playing. I hear it. What you been Can you hear it now? Gaming on. Gaming on. Gaming on. That is it. Okay, so what you been gaming on? I'm gonna throw this at Mr. Since K-Bone came in here late, I'm gonna throw it at him first, then come back to Norris since we ain't heard his voice. What's you been gaming on, bro?
Yo, what's up? Yeah.
All right, so Keith, what you been gaming on?
What, can you not hear me? What's up?
I'm playing, man. I hear you, bro. Go ahead.
Dang, it's like that. Hey, Rona got you acting all kind of messed up,
man.
So anyway, what's up? I've been gaming. Like I said beforehand, before I actually got on the podcast, I was playing 2K with some of the boys in the rec center, trying to put that work on people. And so I've been playing that pretty much the majority of the lockdown. You know, my job and having to work from home, and so in between times when I'm not busy, get a little 2K in. And so since all the boys are at home too, so we've been able to play 5-on-5 a little bit more a little more often than usual. So I played that. So I also played a little Overwatch as well. They got the new season 22, I believe, and they're doing the whole thing where they rotate heroes out of the rotation during the season. So they limit, they section off some characters that you can't pick, which really messes with and changes the meta on how the game is played. So I'm not really a big fan of that because I don't I don't play with a whole bunch of different heroes. I kind of just try to specialize in a couple of heroes, and so when my hero is not on rotation, it kind of sucks, and I kind of have to just find somebody else or just play another game. So I'm not a big fan of the road not road queue, but them sectioning off some players during the season. But they're testing things out, and also still I've been playing Magic on my PC, playing the card game. I mean, I enjoy that. I enjoy the strategy that comes with that. So I've been playing that a little bit more, watching videos on how to create better decks and getting better at that piece. And so that's what I've been doing. I definitely need a new PC though, because when I'm playing the game, my battery, I feel like my battery is drained more than I'm charging it. Either it's my PC, my computer that's bad, or it's my AC adapter. But I look down, I'm losing battery life that I'm gaining than what I am, just while it's plugged up while I'm gaming on that particular game. And my fan get the kicking too, so that's
Okay.
a little bit irritating. But
And that's the what again?
the
The Surface Pro.
Surface, yes, no, Surface Book.
Surface Book. Okay.
Yeah, it's the book. So I may have to talked the wife into letting me upgrade. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see about that.
You know how to put the charm on, man. Go ahead, man. Welcome to the show, Mr. LT. What is that, 1984? Yes, man, we're back. You know what I'm saying? We trying not to take too many long hiatus. We just hurting our own growth because we get on here, be building y'all up, and then we be gone for a month. So, but anyway, so that's it on UK Bum or anything else?
Yeah,
Is you finished or is you done?
I'm neither. So I just played. I still got a couple games I play every now and then. FIFA, the show. Yeah, I play that every now and then. I'm trying to get back into Hellblade, man. I'm just, once I stepped away from it, I haven't got back into it. So I'm trying to get, stir up the feeling to get back into that game and play it. So I don't know, man. I don't know why I haven't really been wanting to play it lately, but I really do want to finish it because it's very interesting. It's a very different game, but I do kind of want to get into it, and I also want to get into the the Assassin's Creed Origin. I really want to get into that, but it's on the PlayStation Store for $59, and that ain't gonna happen. So we'll see how that works out.
Man, y'all finished or y'all done?
What? Okay, I'm messing up stuff. Let me stop. Go ahead, man. Keith.
No, I'm done.
Okay. All right, what you been gaming on, Keith?
Man, Game Pass has been the truth. Oh, let me stop. So I've been playing this little game called Plague.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Look at this dude.
This dude.
Let me get this out. A Plague Tale Innocence. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this game.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's going to be pretty cool.
A Plague Tale Innocence?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was up for I don't know if it was Game of the Year, but it was up for best either strategy game or whatever. Either
probably
last
narrative.
year or this year. Narrative, yeah. It was definitely up there. It's supposed to be pretty good.
It's probably one of the prettiest games I've ever seen. And it wasn't even like a AAA game. It was a AA game.
Yeah, it was AA. Yeah.
Playing through that right now. It's pretty cool. This girl loses her mother and her father. And this is set back in the Middle Ages or whatever, and the Black Plague was. And something is up with the
old school
boy.
Corona?
Yeah, the old school Corona. Yeah, you're right. the original Corona. But yeah, and there's something up with the little boy, her brother. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet, but everybody's trying to get him, and she's trying to protect him. And they got like a what do you call that game? I just saw it. The one with Setsuna. What is her name? What's the game called?
Hellblade.
It got the Hellblade vibe, right?
Okay.
And the girl, she has a slingshot. It's not like a lot of combat. It's a lot more hiding and darting off and being more stealthy in this game than anything. But I suggest, whoever's, out there and you see it, I'll give it a shot. It's pretty cool. Of course, I've been on Ori and the Wisp or something. Ori, what is it called? Ori and the Wisp or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm stuck somewhere. I don't know where I'm at and what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'll figure it out. But it's more Ori. I think there's a lot more combat focus on this one. Ori seems a little bit more agile. But it's cool. I'm gonna beat it. Gears of War 5 is what I've also been playing on. It's more Gears,
but right back.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
It's more Gears, but it's cool. I'm at the point where I'm playing with what's her name? Kat, whatever the girl name is. So I'm at that point. It's pretty cool. It looks great on in 4K, 1440p, both of those, and HDR. It's pretty cool.
This your PC you gaming on? You on the Xbox?
Man, this is PC.
It's PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's straight Game Pass. Now is Halo on the Game Pass or is it just?
Hey, Halo is on the Game Pass. Halo's on the Game Pass, but I downloaded it and I deleted it. It
Oh
wasn't.
yeah,
It's not,
that's right. You talked
yeah,
about that last week, right?
yeah. It's not for me, man. It's not for me.
Not in the online piece, man. You didn't do none of that.
I ain't do none of that.
Okay.
I think I missed the Halo. I missed the Halo wave. You know.
Oh yeah, you missed the way.
Yeah.
That was the thing back in the day, man. College.
Check.
You know what I'm saying? I was a Sony fan, man, but I'm sorry. When the football team, we were in the 2-a-days and somebody got Halo having a LAN party, I'm down for it.
Yeah, that's when we used to sit up there and everybody be like, I know we used to go to Zeke spot.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to say where, they might know what college I'm talking about. But anyway, we'd be over in I say Dearmont. Yeah, is it Dearmont or Dempster?
No, you're right. Dirty D.
Dearmont. And we'd be all on the second floor?
Yep, LAN party.
Yeah, everybody be in their own little rooms and shoot. Had
doors open, people screaming
and hollering. Yeah, that was the stuff. Now I wasn't good. I didn't play much, but I remember a few times we did that. I remember my first time experience Halo was over a friend's house. Well, it wasn't a friend's house. It was a house of one of my friends' friends had the Xbox. I didn't even know.
Look at this boy being specific.
Well, I had to get it right because I didn't know where I was. My friend had a group of people that was on the Xbox hard. And he took me over to the house, and they had a TV in one room with an Xbox in there, another TV in here with an Xbox, and they was all playing the same game, and I didn't even know how they was doing it. I was like, how they doing that? And they was killing it, bro. Them was the days right there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna eat front.
So that was a new experience, having your own TV, talking stuff. You hear people screaming from room to room, going nuts. It was some stuff. But anything else, Keith?
No. I mean, I cut on. I'm sorry. I'm watching this dude play VR. No, I ain't played nothing else.
Okay.
Oh, yo, speaking of VR, did you see that one about the mom that was doing the thing when she's walking on a ladder on VR, and she's like I kind of thing when we did level. What it was is a mom, and she's walking
on a plank or something,
on a platform, like a plank. Yeah, on a plank on a skyscraper, and the son, which is a terrible son, is telling the mother, no, let's walk to the edge and look over. Walk to the edge and look over. I ain't walking. And they going back and forth, and she starts walking towards the edge to look over, and she's already talking about how knees getting weak and all this other stuff. And she walks over the peak, and the son pushes her, and she just loses it, man. It was, I'm sorry to say, it was hilarious though.
You had to send that into the hangout or something.
I'm gonna find it, man. It was hilarious, bro.
Okay, but all right. So for me, we was looking stupid. I still got them videos, bro, of us. That's why I ain't posted them. We looked bad. Right. We looked horrible.
Yeah, we did.
We looked so bad. I'm not posting this stuff. I got an image to uphold. I can't be putting this stuff out. But anyway, especially when I was crawling on the ground, I looked like a hot mess, man. I was like, I am not posting none of this. So anyway, as far as me, man, Warface and New Super Lucky's Tale is what I played on the Switch.
Warface, that's right.
Warface, I played a little bit of that. New Super Lucky's Tale, I played a little bit of that. But outside that, I haven't been banging or gaming on anything. So it ain't no point in me holding your ears, on what I've been playing on. So let's get into these topics. And we ain't got that much. We got the Xbox is a beast, but is it enough? And I'm gonna explain why I put it like that. PlayStation 5 specs discuss. Is it all fluff? I explain why I put it that way. And then GameStop has lost their minds. Greed is a drug.
Lost they forever.
Let's start with GameStop and get them on out their way. What with this coronavirus? Stores are shutting down and being forced to shut down, and the economy is kind of getting hit a little bit. But GameStop, I don't know what happened to these brothers. GameStop said they are essential. When I read this, I was like, "Oh, they serious? They are vital, like hospitals they need to stay open like hospitals, drug companies, and food stores. So, K-Bum, could you explain to me why GameStop feel that they are vital to humanity and they need to stay open for the sanity of us all gamers and non-gamers alike? I mean, I need to understand
Bruh, because gaming is life. What you mean?
When I saw that, man, I lost my mind. Go ahead.
No, bro, I don't got much to explain, man. It's GameStop being GameStop. I mean, what more do we expect from this place, man? They are who we thought they are. It's a bad company. I know. Is Reggie on the board or something like that over there, man?
Yeah.
Well, he about to take. I don't know. Has he taken over yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so we won't blame this on Reggie, K-Bun. Don't bring Reggie.
No, I'm not blaming. I haven't blamed it on Reggie.
Hey, he was on his way.
Yeah, he was close. I was like, let me block this right now.
No, man, I'm saying they just have a bad reputation, man. It just doesn't get any better.
What you think, Keith? What do you feel like GameStop is essential? Do you need GameStop to stay open?
Of course.
Of course.
Like if I'm sick, come on, man. I gotta go to GameStop. I don't know what.
I mean, is that the first place you think of, man, to go to is GameStop? I know, that's the first place I think of when I need, some life-saving medicine. That's the first place I think about going is GameStop, bro.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show, Dark Sun Rider. Now, the topic is GameStop has lost their mind. Greed is a drug. Now, K-Bo, you just said that's what you think about when you need your medication, your medicine. You think of GameStop. You know the last time I've been in GameStop?
When?
I can't remember. It's been literally probably a year. I haven't been inside our GameStop. We had two here. One closed down. The other one's still open out by the highway, by the interstate highway, I guess. But I haven't been in there about a year, bro. I go to Best Buy. If I can't find it at Best Buy, I find it at Walmart or somewhere else. So I can't understand how essential they are because they ain't essential to my needs. So I don't even like going up in there no more. I don't even like going into GameStop. That's how bad it got for me. Go ahead.
But no, I will say this though. I get it. This Rona. This Rona is affecting everybody deeply, and GameStop, honestly, they're really just trying to keep the doors open. They're trying to see if they can weather the storm, but you can't be talking about you essential. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they got a restaurant and their product is gonna go bad. Dude, just close the door. You okay?
Dude said they are essential. They are vital. They are a need in life. They cannot close their door. People will go nuts. It'll be riots in the streets if they close their doors. The employees like, let us go home. We don't want to do these game exchanges. That Rona got them not want to touch nothing. Go ahead, K-Bum, before we get off this topic, because Keith got to get out of here, so I want to get on this PlayStation stuff as fast as possible. Anything else you want to add to GameStop?
It's nothing else, man. These dudes are some straight fools, bro.
They constantly taking L's, bro. Like, okay, y'all, I mean, to me, like, whoever let this person say this, like, whoever said this should get fired, and whoever approved them to say it should get fired, and the person who didn't stop them from saying it should get fired. So that's like three different levels of folks that should be fired off top. Like, whoever said it, whoever approved them to say it, and whoever didn't stop them from saying this line should get fired.
It's just straight down the line.
Everybody, H&R, everybody getting thrown out. H&R, president, CEO, COO, cash register person, the janitor, everybody that didn't stop this fool from
saying, said the janitor
need to get fired.
Yo, but Dark Sun Rising said he was there yesterday, man, with the Rona.
It's
Dark
vital
Sun Rider said, man, this is life. We got to get that Animal Crossing.
He said it's vital for them not to get not to close because they might not be back.
It's true. That's the truth.
I agree with that right there. They want this. Y'all hear that? That's money. They want that money. Anyway, you're true. It's vital for them, but it ain't vital for us. But anyway,
they know gamer people are staying home right now, and the Steam just said they hit the most concurrent users ever in Steam history because of Rona, because everyone's staying home, and when you stay home, what you got? You playing games, so they know that people are going to buy video games during this phase, and they trying to get that moolah.
Two things gonna happen. It's gonna be some game playing and some baby making. That's what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be some baby, boy. Some December baby.
There's a lot of folks who be like, we know when you was conceived. Oh, forgive me.
And
I probably should have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
You
but
right,
it's
though.
the truth. It is next year. You're gonna be like, man, where all these babies come from? Well, that's that Rona. That's that Rona. You a Rona, like a baby boomer. Gonna be them Ronas.
Yeah.
Them Rona babies.
Rona
anyway.
boomers,
yeah. Anything else before we move on? Let me ask this, Dark Sun Rider. Did you get Animal Crossing since you went to GameStop? Did you actually cop Animal Crossing or not? Put that in the chat and let me know. So let's move on to this next. Go ahead, K-Bon.
No. Wait. That's right.
So let's get to the main topic, which is the next two topics are the main topic. So the last few weeks, Xbox been doing a whole lot of revealing. But I would say, did we talk about Xbox reveal last week on the podcast? We didn't, did we? Like all the spec they released and, stuff they was doing. We kind of did, but not.
I think we kind of did.
Okay, so we kind of in bounds. We could talk about it, especially with PlayStation. So let's hit PlayStation first. So Mark Cerny had
AKA Sleepy Pill.
Yes, man. Dude, you ain't never lied. You took it out of my mouth. Stop trying to diffuse me off top, man. You try to take my thunder. I see what you doing. Anyway, because I almost fell asleep saying his name, Mark Cerny. Anyway, so Mark Cerny came out and discussed the specs of the PlayStation 5. Now
he didn't discuss the specs. He discussed the under the hood processes of the PlayStation. You wanted him to just talk specs. Let's get the information right before you go spreading these false accusations.
I'm just saying he talked. He didn't show me nothing in form of gameplay, visuals. He talked. So he talked for a good hour. Now,
it wasn't an hour. It was 53 minutes.
Okay, but we are not going to argue semantics like that. Now, let me ask this question. Okay, so I'm not a specs guy. I'm not a computer savvy guy like that. I don't know the GPU and the CPU and the SSD, solid state drive, and all that talk kind of was in one, in out the other for me. But I'm blessed to have people like K-Bomb, people like D2K, people like Keith Norris, Jedi Knight. They are in their own capacities and ways. I think North and D2K a little bit more than me, and K-Bomb. And K-Bomb more so than me. They know this stuff because they PC gamers. So I'm gonna throw it over to Keith. Let me ask this first. Was you expecting more than just a discussion, Keith?
Hi, my name is Mark, and I come to talk about. Excuse me, could you please wake up?
Dude, it was like it was serious, bro. Like, hurry this up, man. Go ahead.
I'm here to talk. Yeah, I did expect, like, Microsoft just gave you this grandiose reveal. They had YouTubers, Digital Foundry to show you the box, because that's what we care about. We care about the box. We care about seeing the difference between the visuals, because we want to make sure and know that this is a bang for our buck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You came out and gave us theoretical theories, if that makes sense, of what this thing could potentially do. Like, that's cool. Can I see it? That's really all it boils down to. Our SSD is NVMe, and it's extremely fast. You have to dude.
Dude,
I
you
don't
sound
care.
more interested than he did. You ain't doing him right, man. You got to put a little bit more
Red eye,
monotone and
red eye, clear eye.
we thought about putting this part into feedback of the PlayStation 5, and when I think about this, I just wonder this will be very amazing for you as gamers. And bruh, I was at work, literally, dude. Let me say this real quick. I was on my break, and I woke up. That lets you know what. Now K-Bo gonna say you fall asleep early, bro. Look, I was eating my food.
That's the truth.
I sat back. The next thing I know, I woke up and it was ending. I was like, wait a minute. Then I had to go back to see if they showed something. They ain't showed nothing. I dozed off. Anyway, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, man. All that stuff, man. We was expecting a show. We was expecting, for them to come out with here's the new. This is what Horizon Zero Dawn will look like on the PlayStation 5. They didn't do none of that, and it was like they were trying to respond, but they didn't really have a response. This is we've talked about it in the chat that this is a pre-recording of their GDC conference or whatever for the developers, and it was clear that it wasn't for us. So my thing is, don't really release it or don't make it seem like it's such an event. But they did do their job. They didn't let Microsoft just walk away and be like, yeah, we stole the show. They did, come up with this thing to like throw a wrench in their plans, So
now,
but yeah,
before you come in, K-Bo, let me ask this of you, Keith. When you first saw it come on, did you believe the audience was real? I didn't. I was like, man, they got props up for.
I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't.
Okay. All right, I wasn't the only one. I thought that was a fan. Until the dude in the front moved, I was like, oh, okay, they are actually out there.
I was staring hard too. I was like, man, what?
Right. So let me bring K-Bum up here, and then I'll bring you right back because I know you got to go. K-Bum, was you as a Sony fan, let me say that we all Sony fans. So let me stop. So you as the Sony guy to the podcast, that's what I say. Was you expecting more from this, I guess this press conference, or I don't know what you would call it. This press conference.
I wasn't really expecting much. I mean, sorry. I mean, I said I wasn't expecting much. That's not the correct statement. My expectations, I didn't really have any expectations for this. I was just kind of going in cool, so I didn't really have too much expectation. And then when it actually went on and actually started to see it, I was like, oh, this is like a GDC thing. When I heard him talking and I heard how he was describing stuff, I tailored my expectations really early. And so I wasn't, disappointed from the conversation because I kind of tailored. And I think I stopped and sent you guys a message about 5 minutes in, and said, "Oh yeah, this is a GDC a pre-recording conversation."
You didn't even know. You was like, "Wait a minute, it's on." That's what you said.
I thought it was on later. Yeah, 100, 100. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then I watched it with that in mind. And then I watched it. I don't know how far we get into it right now. Yeah.
No, we finna go into it because I don't want to. I want to keep the beard, get all he want to get out before.
Well, I guess my piece. Let me say my piece. I guess my piece was I didn't really have any expectations of what they were going to show, and so I kind of went in as a clean slate. So I was, from what it really was, I was cool. I was cool from that point.
Okay. Now I apologize to all you probably wondering where's the indie show. Was the indie show thing this week or was that last week?
That was this week.
Okay, I didn't put that. I just realized I ain't got that up there as a topic because So let's move on. So as far as me, I was expecting more than this. I thought this was going to be the equivalent to what Xbox did for Sony. I thought this was going to be Sony's blowout. Like Sony's going to lift the top, show us the system, like they did that one year where they didn't show it, or at least what they did this one year where they didn't show us the system, but Mark Cerny kind of showed us specs and different ways that they went about putting together the PlayStation 4 with why they went with the particular GPU they went with, the CPU they went with. But then they showed us games towards the end. I remember we saw that Capcom game.
Deep down or deep
Yeah,
something
with the
that
dragon and
never
all
actually
that.
came out.
Yeah, never came out. I know. I thought they tried to turn it into a free to play or
Something.
something like one of those with them games where you kind of watch and you're not actually playing. I thought they tried to change it into something else, but that game, which was really just a tech demo that they lied and said was a game. But anyway, well, time proved that's what it probably was. They showed Killzone as well. They showed that scene from Killzone, and to me, I thought we was finna get something equivalent to either that or what Microsoft did, a system reveal, how it looks, and then some games running on it. When Mark just kept rambling on and on and on and on and on, I was like, is he really finna talk for 55 minutes about the solid state drive and what they, like, literally, like, this is not, like Keith said, this is not for us. This is for developers. I don't care what you, just make a game with it. I know that's kind of wrong, but I don't care about how it works. Just show me the game running on it. Like, and I would say about 20 minutes into it, I dozed off. Like, I literally finished my lunch, and I think it was about 20 minutes in, he was talking about what they achieved with this variation. He's like, something about they was able to, it has variations. I think he was talking about the power draw, like how much power it consumes. And from that point on, he was talking about the teraflops and how teraflops don't actually tell all the case of if something is powerful or not, to not get lost in just the 12 teraflops and all that means it's more powerful. It don't work like that. He was saying something like that, and I kind of just went into La La Land, you know. So I'm just being honest. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I had a little bit more expectations for this. I had high expectations. I was ready to get Microsoft what Microsoft did, you know, or something on par with that. So I would say I was a little disappointed. Honestly, I won't lie about that. Keith, what would you say? Was you disappointed?
I'm here to talk about. Was I disappointed? All right. Here's the thing. Was I disappointed? Yes, I truthfully, I really did want to see something. I was hoping for something just like you. I'm sitting at work thinking like, oh, I'm finna see, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they finna go at it. Right. Didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. But when I step back and I look at things, and I know we're going to get into Microsoft in a minute, but we know that Microsoft revealed more as far as like visuals. So if you take what Microsoft showed you, right, they were showing you the things, the quick switching and what Gears of War 5 would look like on the Xbox Series X or whatever. You take, all right, wait, who got the Rona? Who was that? Somebody coughing?
K-Bum, stop that coughing, man. Stop.
Hey, man, you can't be coughing in the U.S. right now, man. Can't do that. You got to hold that in.
That was me.
But yeah, you take what Microsoft showed you, and then you take how Mark Cerny was trying to piece it all together, and you can kind of get a full picture. You know what I'm saying? No, the PlayStation 4 isn't on the same power scale. If we know what teraflops truly are, it's not on the same power scale. But I mean, he was talking about how they can use the RAM and all of this other stuff, and how the SSDs and how they can allocate this, that, and the third, yada yada yada. He was explaining or trying to explain. I know some people would take it as he was trying to downplay the fact that the PlayStation 5 doesn't have as many teraflops, but he's kind of right. I know you probably saw me and D2K going back and forth in the chat, where there's a graphics card, AMD made a graphics card, and it has 12.6 teraflops. But the graphics card in my PC right now only has like 9.7, and my graphics card smokes that graphics card. So it doesn't. Teraflops isn't the it's a marketing thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it isn't the whole story like Mark was saying. So if you take bits and pieces of that, mix it in with what Microsoft was doing, I think you can kind of get an idea of initially what next generation is going to be about. It's going to be about speed. It's going to be about being able to play your games in 4K, the ease and the accessibility of accessing your games and having better ecosystems on Microsoft side. So that's what next gen is going to be about, man. And I think if you just take both of them and kind of get a look at it, because and I'm gonna finish up here. They're talking about PC parts. You know what I mean? You could take those same parts from a PC and you can have a beast of a PC, but you know the consoles and the gamer developers rather are going to be able to utilize it and take that further. And that's kind of what Mark was saying. Versus what Microsoft was giving you the pretty, but they weren't really explaining how it was going to work. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'm not the PC savvy guy. So when I hear all this stuff, how you just articulated was way more interesting than what Mark said. But I did take that part where he was talking about the teraflops as a way to kind of nerf or take the bite out of Microsoft's, I guess, selling point. Like Microsoft, to me, I think every gamer listening, most gonna take that's why he was saying that. Not that what he was saying wasn't true, but is it true of your system? Like, we know that this is possibly true, but is that the case for you? What you're doing? Because to me, Sony, and this is what I think about Sony. Sony would show stuff if they felt like they can prove it. You know, like they showed Spider-Man one time running on what they was projecting the solid state drive would do. They showed, I think that was Sony who showed Spider-Man swinging through the city with no load times, right? And didn't they do that last year or something like that, K-Bun, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't remember.
I remember, I don't know if it was I don't know where it was, but I just remember Sony showing solid straight. The first time they talked about the Sony PlayStation and what it could do, 5, and then what it could do.
Oh, you're talking about what they showed it in it was one of the tech things that got released.
Yeah, they showed the tech where Spider-Man was swinging and there was no load times. All right.
Correct.
My thing is, you could show that thing. This was like a year ago. You had visuals for what you was trying to demonstrate and talk about. Your talking point had visuals. Let me get up to the mic. Your talking points had visuals. Microsoft comes, they got visuals, they got spec talk. They even have a breakdown on how they built the system, the airflow, the solid state drive, what it could do, even showed how faster it is over the Xbox One X, loading up, what was that? I can't remember the game that they was playing, but they loaded that game up and it was literally like on the Xbox Series X, it was literally 2 seconds and it was up and running. And then on the Xbox One X, it took like 15, 20 seconds later before it actually uploaded that you could play. They was already running around doing stuff on the Series X. They showed how you could just stop this game, upload another game, pop right into it within seconds. They was showing all this stuff. They didn't have to tell you it because they showed you it. They showed you Gears of War 5 looking like, I ain't gonna lie, it looked amazing. Visually, it looked like something I would expect to get off a PC. It didn't look like home console quality game. It looked like something that would be on a high-end rig. And like I said, Keith and D2K and others can speak more to that than I can. To me, this ain't typical Sony's way. Sony normally show you something, even if it's a lie, they'll show you a lie. Like the original Killzone, what they showed for the PlayStation 3, that was basically a CGI rendered movie. That's Sony. They showed you Killzone. They showed you Capcom's Dragon Lair or Dragon Deep Down or whatever it was. they had visuals. They showed you Spider-Man swinging through the city, no load times. But now all of a sudden it's a 55-minute talk session. I found that kind of. That's why I asked, do you believe what Sony is saying is they're going to achieve it with the system? Or do you believe Microsoft has really put the squeeze on them right now? I guess I throw that K-Bum and come back to you, Keith.
All right.
Well, I don't think you got my thoughts just about the conference.
Well, go ahead and say all what you got to say.
No, it's all good.
My bad.
I can tie all of it into it because
Okay.
one thing I do kind of think this is speculation here.
Yeah, it is.
Your
Definitely
your belief
speculation.
of what Sony should be doing or could do or have done in the past isn't an indication of what is really going on in Sony. And I think we're kind of filling in the gaps here because of they haven't given us much,
Right.
and that can kind of draw to misperceptions of what's really going on. So I'll start with that point. So going back to my expectations. So I wasn't really expecting much, which is cool. But when they actually went on with the presentation, I was actually intrigued. Like I said, I ended up tailoring without knowing, tailoring my expectations of the press conference very early when I said, "Oh, this is from GDC." You know what I'm saying? And then once I realized that, I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is development talk. This isn't show and tell. This isn't big media fluff. This isn't, hey, let me present to you some pretty videos or pictures and wow you without substance. This is the substance. This is the meat of what's really going on behind the scenes, and not just the pre-rendered video. You can't burn Sony on both ends. You can't burn them when they do pre-rendered videos that's false, and then burn them when they give you actual information of what's actually going on in the system. I mean, you got to give them credit on one end. Either give me pre-rendered or give me something. Anyway,
I thought that's what I was saying. I was like, give me the pre-rendered. I don't want your fluff. I don't want your talk.
So
once
I tailored my expectations, like I said, I did it without knowing. I just said, oh yeah, that's probably GDC material. And then I watched it. I was actually pretty intrigued because they spent 25 minutes talking about the SSD and improvements to the SSD, and I was like, wow, that's some dope stuff that they're doing with the SSD. But one thing that they kind of brought out, kind of what Keith was saying, but I'm gonna just hit on it a little bit longer, is that they're not just using straight PC parts, and this is the part that really made me say, okay, Sony, is that they're not just using something that the PC is doing and then say, let's put it in the PlayStation. They are intelligently looking into how to maximize the performance of it inside of a console. And that doesn't mean taking it verbatim, taking it directly from what the PC space is doing. And with that kind of made me kind of say, you know what, this, because the first, going into the next gen, I've been under the mindset of this is just PCs inside of a console from both sides. Mm-hmm. I thought both sides were just using the same PC architecture. You know what I'm saying? They're just taking PCs and putting it inside of a box. And I was believing that from both sides. But actually hearing the press conference, hearing them talking about even the SSD improvements and how, their SSDs are uniquely different from SSD from other people, and they're not even going to allow you to put a slow SSD inside of the PlayStation because of the games needing that speed of SSD. Means they're actually thinking of how to maximize it. One thing he kept going over is that if we speed up on this end, we can't create a bottleneck on another end. So again, to me, that's them, trying to look into how to maximize the system, which is what consoles are, is a maximized, CPU, graphics card, and everything to give you the best graphics. Unlike PC, where it's kind of like, you kind of shoot for either the high end or a broad spectrum. Developers on the console can really hone in because pretty much every console is going to have the same specs, and they can kind of just optimize that, and that's where you get the best games is optimization. And so, I mean, I was actually intrigued with the press conference, and what I tried to do, because I was like, I was kind of going back and forth with you guys doing me watching it, and I stepped back and said to myself, you know what? Am I liking this because it's Sony, or am I liking this because it's kind of the behind the scenes nuts and bolts type of thing? So I went into the second half of the conversation trying to answer that question, because if I'm just using my bias and just liking it because it's Sony, then make sure you say that. Don't portray that you're actually liking the nuts and bolts, and you're just liking it because it's Sony. And I think I fell somewhere maybe 60-40, probably 60-40.
Okay.
60-40. I'm a nuts and bolts guy, so I like the behind the scenes. So 60% of me liked it because it was showing me, what, and D2K kind of said it, that they're showing me what they're targeting. Because everything isn't 100. This is kind of their target what they're targeting. And not to say that it's going to be 100% that when it actually comes out. So 60% of me love that type of stuff. I'm the kind of person, when after I watch a movie, I like to go and watch the behind the scenes videos and the extra cutscenes, because I like to see, understand how they, imagine this world. Especially when John Wick came out, I looked at all the stuff, all the behind the scenes videos of how they created this world of John Wick, which I advise everyone to do, because they put some real good work into creating this universe of John Wick. And that's why they have 3 coming up to 4 movies of it. So I like that kind of stuff. But then it's Sony. I like Sony. And so I think I fell somewhere 60-40. But the press conference, I give people credit. It was boring. It was definitely for developers, but I think I enjoyed it more because I kind of tailored and knew that, because I am a developer. I mean, I don't develop video games, but I'm a developer in my trade. And so kind of when he's talking about some of those topics and some things he's talking about, I have a good understanding of what it is. So I mean, outside of being boring and those people in the audience looking weird, I was fine. And even I thought what they did, and I think it's been overlooked, what they're doing with audio is something really amazing.
But they both doing that though. From what I found out later, that both Microsoft and Sony has 3D audio.
3D, but is Microsoft going to an extent that Sony is when they're trying to match that HTTR to your own ear?
Now I didn't do a deep dive research into
that is some next level type of stuff, right?
Right. But again, that goes back to what I'm saying, like, and I know I hate to sound like a rerun record and a broken record, but some of these things I think Sony could have shown. If you like, I take what D2K said. You saying this might be what you hit. This could be possible.
Well, they didn't even say could be possible. They said this is what they're targeting. Right. This is what they're shooting for. So they're making these changes and making all these things.
In other words, they said this is what we believe we'll be able to achieve.
We have done. All what we have done.
Right. Well, I'm saying they said this is what we're targeting, as if, okay, if you targeting something, you're hoping to achieve this. If you say we're targeting this, you hope to achieve this. If you say this is what we could do, then you're saying we have achieved this. And to me, that's where
I think you can only say that because it's not a final model yet.
Right. That's my point.
You're still, it's not finalized. You're still adding pieces that could create bottlenecks down the line.
Right. So you
putting their foot in their mouth.
Yeah, you're being safe because there's a possibility that this could be better than what we're saying, or there's a possibility that we might not achieve what we're saying.
Yes.
So we being safe for the backlash. We said target. So what that says to me is that says to me you're not sure. I mean,
it's a different level. It's a different level of unsurance. Unsurance means, I don't know, we're just throwing stuff at the wall, see if it sticks. Or unsure because we haven't finalized it, and so there could be other aspects of it that could cause this to change. Like, you're not unsure.
There's other factors. Wait a minute, was that Ronus? Was that Ronus? So yeah, okay, Bum. That's kind of where I'm at with it. With not that I have any problem with. I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 5 because I named the Xbox the way I did for a reason. Sony problem ain't gonna be power. Power ain't gonna hold Sony back because Sony got the games. So I think they good on power, whatever way it turns. Visually and what them systems gonna do, Sony gonna be fine because Sony got the IP to make up for any lack in power that they could have, or if they got the power, they gonna, we know Sony gonna do what Sony does with that. Sony has proven himself in the game, so I'm not concerned. I'm just saying, just to play devil's advocate. I felt like, me personally listening, and Keith kind of said it, that Sony is responding to the loud bark of Microsoft because Microsoft ain't saying we're targeting this. Microsoft is saying we doing this, we doing that. This is what we can do here. This is what we can do. You can take this game and it's going to upscale it to this, and you don't even need the developers to do anything to it, and they show it. See? Look at what this game looked like on this system versus how it look on the Xbox Series X. Microsoft is showing and telling. Sony is saying we hope, we believe, we're targeting, we're hopeful that it does this. But being safe. So I'm concerned about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little concerned about that. Not so much so that it's gonna take me from buying what Sony's doing, but is Sony setting us up for a system that's not going to be as capable as it even thought it was going to be? That's what I'm wondering, but I could be absolutely wrong. So I throw this at you, Keith, and let you come back on what I just said. K-Bum, you can come back too, and then we'll move to Microsoft and why I said it the way I said it with Microsoft. Go ahead.
Okay, so y'all said a lot. What was the original question again?
The fluff part, like what K-Bum was saying, I agree with. Like, Mike, I did enjoy some of it. Mark just born. They need to figure out somebody else to say what he. They need to give somebody else Mark's talking points and let them talk, cause Mark can't talk. He should not stand before nobody and say nothing. He ain't gonna get. You ain't gonna pay it. The developers probably fell asleep doing that thing. Like, oh, what did he say about that solid state? We can do what? But anyway, with Sony not showing any tangible, physical, visual evidence of what he was talking about, could it be that Sony is putting out a lot of fluff or some fluff? I'm not saying they are. I feel like it would be unfair not to raise that suspicion.
No, and the reason I said they're not putting out fluff is because this was a pre-recorded video that they released. This was supposed to be, I'm assuming, when was GDC? When was this supposed to be?
GDC was at the top of the year.
Okay, this is when the information was supposed to come out. So I feel like Sony was like, well, it was a response. I just feel like we're like, hey, we need to just put this out because Microsoft is running away with the market share right now with the talking,
with the news talking,
yeah. So we need to put this out. But as far as like having something to show, I don't think that's what they were trying to do.
Okay, that's fair. K-Bum?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what he said. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to Microsoft real quick because and then we'll be done. So the Xbox Series X look like a beast, power wise. It looks like it. I mean, it is a beast. It ain't no looks like, it is a beast. But is that enough? Now let me break down this topic. We know that Microsoft got the power part on deck. They have shown it. They broadcasting it. They boasting about it. They bragging. They feeling themselves right now. So Microsoft feels very confident about this Xbox Series X. But is power enough to take the throne from Sony?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Is that D2K? What you just snuck up in here? Is that D2K? I thought I heard his voice. Okay. So
yes, it is.
All right, D2, I'm gonna throw it at you. Since you showed, how long you been in here?
About 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, cool. I ain't want to
Man,
cut
that's
you
as
out of the
fast as a
last conversation.
PlayStation 5 SSD, man.
Yeah. So I go to you, I come to Keith, and I'm gonna come to K-Bum. You said no. Go ahead and tell me why. All right, was it Keith that said no? One of you said no.
We
I
both
said
said
no.
it.
Okay,
You
go
said
ahead,
too.
D2. Why you say no?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how powerful your system is if you don't have the games to show it off. And Microsoft came out and told us a while ago that they're not going to have anything for the first year and a half, which still boggles my mind that you would release a console and put so much emphasis on how powerful it is and how far you can push visuals. And the only thing that you have to show for it are last generation games. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, we're just going to have Halo Infinite and Forza and maybe something else, and that's it. And we're still working on the other games that will be coming down the line. They're not even giving us that. They're not even telling us that we're going to get that. So, you know, it's like a kid who has a shiny new toy, but it doesn't have anyone to play with. You know, it doesn't matter how powerful it is. We need the games to show off that power. And if more specifically, you need first party games to show off that power because third party games are good, but they're never the best option to show off the power or the capabilities of your hardware. You should be doing that, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. That's where you see what the system is truly capable of from the first party studios. And, you know, until Microsoft solves that problem, I think that a lot of the power talk kind of is transparent or it's kind of like vapor. You know, I mean, it doesn't come solidified until I actually see a game that's showing me why you guys push the limit so hard with these technical specifications.
Okay, I agree. I see that. Keith, your thoughts?
Yes, I agree with D2K. That's essentially what I was going to say was like it doesn't matter. And then we could talk about sales. Sony is what lost one generation, and they've never had the strongest system.
Mm-hmm.
So we can look at that and say, well, it doesn't really matter how powerful your console is as long as you have the content. And I think that's what Microsoft has been working on. I mean, we're talking about their backwards compatibility. Yeah, backwards compatibility with the Xbox Game Pass. And, you know, I've been singing their praises with the Xbox Game Pass. The question is are their services enough? You know, you got all of these things, and like D2K said, for about a year and a half, you're not going to have anything specific to this console. Can these services that you offer with these prices, which are great prices, can they sustain you? I mean, how many times can a person play Forza? 3 or 4, you know what I mean? Or however far it goes back. You know, Gears of War is cool, but you cannot sit there and play Gears of War 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You're gonna get burnt out with that gameplay. You know what I mean? You're going to get burnt out. So they're gonna have to come up with some new things. I mean, you know, they got the new studios they announced last E3. They got new studios, but again, we might not see a game from them exclusively unless they're making third-party games. And Microsoft is like, man, we don't care. Just put the money game out there so we can get this money. You know. So that's how I see it. And I know there were some rumors about, and I'm just putting this out there if y'all want to talk about it because I'm about to get off, about Sony buying up some IPs from certain developers. So y'all probably mention that too.
Yeah.
So.
What was that? Silent Hill, Metal Gear, trying to buy Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and another one. What was
Castlevania.
Castlevania. Yeah. So right. You know who that's for.
Yep.
K Bum, come on in here, bro. Is power enough when it comes to Microsoft?
When has power ever been enough when it comes to gaming? I mean, I don't think that's an actual thing, man. Because the PS2 was not the most powerful system, but it sold like hotcakes, and the Wii, well. Anyway, so no, power isn't
slick. Go ahead though.
Somehow, what you mean? No, no, man. Power is not gonna win Microsoft the game. Microsoft has the most powerful system out right now, the most powerful system, and they still out there looking like what they say, boo boo the food. So I don't see power winning Microsoft. Sony knows the formula. Nintendo knows the formula to win it. and that's producing games,
Right.
and that's getting stuff that people want to play. Yes, how you play it matters. What you playing on matters.
Mm-hmm.
The infrastructure matters, but that's not going to win you nothing.
Right.
That's not going to win it. I mean, it matters. It absolutely matters. I mean, but you can have a trash infrastructure and some dope games, Nintendo, and still just sell a buttload, man. Like gamers want games, man. Just being 100% honest with you,
I
gamers want
partly
games.
feel offended, but he's telling the truth, so I
but
really
you
can't
know,
say
you think
nothing.
it's
throwing them low blows in there,
Yeah,
kind of
it's,
slick, ain't it?
D2K, it's them low blows that's true though. You can't really argue against him because he's telling the truth. What can you say? Well, go ahead, Giver. Go ahead.
Readjust your cup.
Oh man.
Oh
But you
man.
feel me though. You feel your boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
feel
So
you.
that's how I feel about it, man. To be honest with you.
And I agree. I think while Microsoft has the market far as the ear of everyone right now, with Digital Foundry Digital Foundry. How many videos did we post up there in the Google Hangout that we was watching from Digital Foundry talking about what Microsoft is doing? But one thing that's in the back of my head, will you have the games that will compel people to come and spend the money for your powerful system? That's what Sony gonna have over them. Sony got the games. At the end of the day, them games gonna trump power, man.
I'm supposed to speak on. Okay, check. So here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. Yes, and I feel like I'm advocating this like crazy. I'm advocating for Microsoft, but really sit back and think about this. Moving on to the PlayStation 5 means that you're basically giving up your PlayStation 4 and anything that you had on it. I think, I don't know. You as a parent, right? Or just a person on a budget, you go out and get you an Xbox One X. And I gotta say the One X because you know it's gotta be discounted. At some point it's gonna be at a discount, from what it was.
Right.
You get that Game Pass, and I know I'm still advocating for this. You get the Game Pass, you know how much money you're saving. And the fact that they're not gonna have exclusives for like a year and a half, so you have nothing to worry about. Even the person who has the original Xbox One or the Xbox One S, you have nothing to worry about as far as like new games coming out, which also is a problem. But you don't have to worry about new games coming out because you can play them. You know what I mean? And you're paying maybe, I don't know how much it is, console, what, $10 a month. So
I think it's $14.99 a month, if I'm not mistaken. After
Is
that promotion that he got going is gone.
Gotcha. But you look at something like that, do you really, because 9 times out of 10 is one or two exclusives that you're going to play from PlayStation a year, where you got 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 games coming out from third party that you'll rather play. You know what I mean? So it's like you just got to weigh the pros and cons for you. You don't even have to get the Series X, and I think that's what Microsoft is betting on. They're betting on you getting into their ecosystem, getting their services, and that's what they're betting on. They're not betting on the Series X. The Series X is for those people who want the
PC experience,
the PC experience, the power, yada yada yada. But you don't even need it.
Let me.
So they're trying to.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought. Now, ask.
No, I was just saying that I think Microsoft is trying to cover all bases, whereas Nintendo and Microsoft are only going in one direction, where Microsoft is like spreading or opening their radius to catch more people. They're trying to catch more fish with their net. How about that?
Right. Do you feel like, before you go, do you feel like people will want to go back and play the older games? And two, are the third party games free to play when they come up, or is there just first party and second party? I don't know that part.
Depending on the deal. Like I said, with the Xbox Game Pass now on the PC, anyways, I can play Sunset Overdrive, which was an exclusive, I believe.
Yeah.
But then there's also Metro. Oh shoot, it don't. The Corona's here. But it's there's a lot of third party games in here that I can play. That's like Darksiders 3. I played that for a little. Oh yeah, I played Darksiders 3.
Is it good?
It's decent.
Okay.
The controls felt weird. She felt heavy.
Okay.
Uh,
She probably feel like the first one. Then go ahead.
yeah. So you got a lot of, like I said, I don't know what's, but here, I mean, you got Dishonored. You got a lot of games that you could choose from that you could really sink your teeth into just by paying that X amount of dollars a month.
Okay.
Versus with Sony, yeah, you get your exclusives, but then there's the third party games that you got to purchase. So it's pros and cons. Pros and cons.
Okay. Yeah, you present a interesting possibility competition with Sony having the exclusives because I believe Sony has the games. Like I believe between Microsoft and Sony is the closest to having the formula Nintendo has with their first party. Microsoft just jacked that up to me. I don't know. I thought they was trending good, and then I don't know. They just seemed like they just forgot that they should make games. So, but you bring up an interesting thought. Game Pass might be a leveraging point to get folks to consider them. So I don't know. I still think Sony has the upper hand, but at the same time, if they push Game Pass the right way, that could be intriguing for Microsoft. I don't know yet. I don't know how to look at that. I don't know how to feel about it personally yet. For me, I'm still looking at Sony as being the system I'm most anticipating to see, because I know what Sony finna do game-wise. I just know Sony enough to know Sony gonna try to blow your freaking face off with what they doing in their games. They're very ambitious. They let's look at what they did with God of War. Like what they let Santa Monica do with God of War. Like they let them really go outside the box, do a whole new take on the series that could have fumbled and failed, but they let them do it. That's, to me, and I'm not saying this to throw Nintendo out there, but that's Nintendo like to me. They do that type of stuff where they gamble with Metroid Prime. And went away from the typical formula, and we got Metroid Prime, which we beloved today. So I think Sony has more that type of stuff than Microsoft. Like you were saying, Keith, Gears of War hasn't changed hardly at all since the original one on the Xbox, Xbox 360. It's the same game with a new skin over and over again. And Sony's guilty of that too. But story-wise, storytelling, and to me, just the passion that seems to go into Sony's games. To me, even if Sony is the weaker system, I still think Sony has the upper hand. But that's just my assessment. Go ahead, K-Bum or D2K, and then we get out of here. We ain't got to stay too much longer, in my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stick around.
Okay,
that'll be all right. That'll be all right.
Okay. K-Bum, whoever want to go, we can wrap it up.
Oh, what were we talking about?
Like,
sorry,
between Microsoft and Sony, like we said, Sony with the specs talk, we caught question was it fluff. Microsoft being a beast system, but we question if it's enough. Like between the two, who do you still feel like has the driver's seat? Like, is it Microsoft with what was that? What is that, Keith? Game Pass. And then is it with Sony with the fact that we know Sony gonna bring it with the games?
I think it's neither.
Okay.
Sorry, neither of the points that you just made.
Okay.
Like that.
All right. Well, go ahead. Just shoot me
what?
down. All right. I feel the bullet wound. All right.
No problem. Anytime. What I think the momentum taking into the next generation, and what's kind of the biggest benefit to the next gen is Sony's dominance in this gen. And I was reading up, and they were talking about how, despite how boring the press conference was, people have already decided what system they're getting, and most people have already decided on getting the PS4, and it's going to have to take a so
PS5.
last generation.
PS5. Okay,
PS5. Sorry, thank you. Last generation. The reason why Xbox didn't take over is because they did something really, really, really stupid that turned everyone back to Sony. after the DRM announcement and Sony saying we're not doing all of that, Xbox went from being so the Xbox X went from being the number one console for that next generation to being a laughing stock.
True.
They had all the momentum from the 360. If they would have just played right, they would have had all the momentum carrying to the Xbox X. So my thing is, I really believe what you've done the previous generation impacts, improves, or impacts highly the success of your next console, unless you do something stupid. And so that's why I believe that the momentum that's going to take Sony into the early sales of the PS4, PS5 is going to be their success in this generation, and that's going to me, I feel it's going to boost their success when it comes to PS5, and they're going to sell more than Xbox on the initial wave of games. That's my.
I can push back on that, but for the point of time, I won't. I'm gonna say I disagree, but I won't go into why.
I I agree, but from a different perspective. I think that some people, I think you kind of touched on it, is that a lot of people make the decision already, and I think a lot of people are loyal to a brand, and I think that a lot of people, regardless of what they saw, what they heard, were going to buy the system that they already own, the next generation iteration of that. I think the Sony people is like, I don't care what I see from the Sony conference. I'm buying the PlayStation 5. I didn't need to see anything, didn't hear anything. I'm buying it pointless.
Right.
And, it's the same thing with Microsoft. But I think that what will give Sony the advantage is pretty simple and transparent, is because they'll have the games. They'll have the games at launch, and Microsoft won't. And it's not from, I guess Microsoft's strategy has changed, where they're not necessarily looking to go stride for stride, head to head with the PlayStation 5 the way they have in the past, because they realize that that's a fight they can't win. I think that they're trying to, instead of going find the strongest person they can fight, against the other person's strongest person, they're going to have the strongest person they can fight, but they're going to have a whole bunch of minions around them as well when they fight. I think that's what Microsoft's strategy is. All this other stuff with xCloud and Game Pass and all that stuff is like, yeah, we got our biggest brother on the block, but he got them boys with him in the background too. So we gonna have to fight all of us, not just big dude up here. And I think that's kind of the strategy of Microsoft, because head to head they can't beat Sony. They've tried and they failed many times. They tried initially to beat Sony head to head with the original Xbox, which was vastly more powerful than the PlayStation 2, and they got the break speed off of them. So, and they had great first party titles on the original Xbox. That wasn't even the problem. So, it's just that Sony's been doing it longer. They figured out the game and they figured out how to do it. Sony is a lot like Nintendo. They understand what the market wants and what the market needs and what they might want, but they don't realize it quite just yet. And they learn how to maneuver that into the design of their next gen console. And I think that's what Sony is doing with the PlayStation 5. They're giving you what you already want, what you already need, but they're putting things in there that might not be important right now, but they'll be important later. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft is basically saying, we're just going to go sheer brute force, balls to the walls, so to speak. But at the same time, if you already enjoy your Xbox experience now, we're carrying that over to the next generation. So it's a different fight completely from the last generation. Right. This is a completely uncharted territory, because we never had a company with this much of infrastructure behind them going into a generation like we have with Microsoft right now. And then you add in the whole game, the xCloud situation, that's going to make it even larger for them. So even though Sony has the consumer space right now because the footprint of the PlayStation 4 is so huge, I think that Microsoft counterbalances that with the services that they offer.
Yep.
Okay. Right. And Keith, you want to say something?
No, I mean, that was it.
Okay.
That's the point. That's it.
Okay.
I did want to jump in.
I wanted to say something before you go, and I'll give it to
Yeah,
you.
no, go ahead. Then.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to
I'm gonna
say,
jump in.
K-Bum, I'll tell you why I disagree. Not that you was wrong, but the way you framed it, I didn't agree with. I think Sony lost. Microsoft never really won anything. Sony fumbled, and people went to the 360 because of that price. And them same people who went to the 360 was coming back to the PlayStation 4 anyway. Microsoft made it more easier to just go on over there, but everybody was going to the PlayStation 4 as soon as it was announced, as soon as they showed Killzone, as soon as they showed all that. They had won that generation. They ain't have to even come out behind Microsoft and say anything. Sony had that wrapped up because Sony has mind share in a way that Microsoft, like I think either Keith or D2K said, they can't compete with. Or maybe you said it. They can't compete with, I think it was D2 said, they can't compete with Sony head up. Because Sony has years in this. Sony has the games. Sony has the hearts. Microsoft has been trying to pick away at that, and they haven't been successful at it. But that 360, only reason they won that time was because Sony went bunkers in the head with their price and forced everybody to get the 360. And Gears of War was convincing enough to make it okay, I'm going to go with this. But I still feel like Sony had the best games to offer that year. When you look at, if you go back and you look at that era, I still feel like Sony had the more compelling offering. You look at Uncharted and all the other stuff that they were doing, Gears of War 3. I mean, not Gears of War, but God of War 3, all that, to me, still had the better offerings between the two. So, but yeah, like what D2K said, it seemed like Microsoft might be coming at this from a different angle and trying to circumvent Sony through so many different options to play that they getting their money regardless if Sony still is number one. I think that might be what Microsoft is on. We're going to get money other ways than trying to compete with you head up, Sony. You can have that. Have number one, but we're going to get money from the streaming. We're going to get money from all these different avenues, PC, everywhere. You get that money and be number one between the home console front. You can have that. You know, I think that's what Microsoft is saying. I mean, that's, you know, who else want to go?
I was trying to get which point you were arguing against, because
I ain't arguing because I was just saying
well disagreeing to kind of how I said, because the D2K point I wanted to kind of say that when it came, like, because everyone was going to, it kind of proved my point that to me whoever won that previous one was going to win the next one until someone did something stupid. And the 360, the PS3 is exactly that. Sony did something stupid.
I think Sony did something stupid with the PS3 with the price. I don't think Microsoft stupid made them lose with the one. I think Sony was going to win regardless.
Absolutely. Do you not remember the backlash that Xbox got?
Yeah, I do.
It was huge.
It was huge. But what I'm saying, and I'll let it go on this. Had Microsoft not made that fumble, let's say Microsoft didn't come out with the DRM and all the stupid stuff that dude was saying at that time, I still believe, me personally, Sony was finna win that generation.
I think it's speculation there, but I see your point.
Yeah,
there was more stupid that Microsoft did, because you got to remember, you're still coming off the Red Ring of Death, you're still coming off the E74, you're still coming off of the fact that you're trying to bundle Connect with the system that's less powerful than the PlayStation 4, and you're charging an extra $100 for it.
Yep.
So there was a whole gaggle of stupid decisions that Microsoft made that a lot of people said, I don't really care what it's offering. I'm getting the PlayStation 4 out of protest.
Yeah, and I'm saying, like, me looking at how PlayStation 3 ended, it still outsold the Xbox. Once that price came down, how I remember, people were already gravitating back to the PlayStation 3.
They were.
Right. So when Xbox came up, yes, they sealed their fate with their stupid blunders. But the writing was on the wall. That's what I'm saying. That people really wasn't Xbox fans. Sony just was so cocky with their price. We protested against Sony. Xbox was just stupid, and we just showed them, bro, you ain't got it like that. We like Sony. That's what I saw.
But my point I was trying to make, I'm even trying to make the point that the PS2 people who bought 160 million PS2s weren't all PS2 fans either.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Everybody bought PlayStation.
And the point I'm trying to make, well, I guess the end point I'm trying to make is that these ninjas ain't loyal. I guess that's the point.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to get to.
Keith, then we get
these
out.
ninjas are not loyal.
I didn't have nothing to add. I ain't have nothing to add to that.
I was going to say, to me, everybody, and I'm saying this as a Nintendo guy, everybody buys Sony. Everybody, majority of people gonna have a Sony system in their house. It's gonna be whether you're gonna have a Nintendo or a or an Xbox beside it. Now that's really where it is, and I know that might make some fringes turn sour and people get upset, but it's just a fact. Everybody tend to buy a Sony PlayStation, and you have the Microsoft or a Nintendo beside it. That's been the rule for a while now. If we be honest,
it's been the rule since 1995.
Right. So I mean, numbers don't lie. Well, don't mean that Sony is your preferred system. Like for me, Nintendo is always gonna be my preferred system, but I'm still gonna get a Sony. I get all three, but if I had to choose, I would most likely get a Sony over Xbox. So, but I knew I was getting all three, so it didn't really matter to me. But with these prices, I don't know if I'm getting all three. I'm gonna have to really choose, and it's most likely because of the games, it's probably gonna be Sony. So it'll be Nintendo, whatever they coming with new, and it'll be Sony for me right now. And until everything go down, then I'll probably get an Xbox if. But that could sway, but most likely that's what I would end up doing. So that's why I was saying I think Sony lost because of a blunder, but Microsoft really never won. They won by default with that 360, in my opinion. But
so you think that if they had put the PlayStation 3 at the correct price at the beginning, it would have outsold the Wii?
Me personally, I think the Wii. No, I don't think. I think the Wii. Well, let's look at the price. They sold 83, 84 million.
It's 86 million. So they were only about 16 million or 15 million away from tying the Wii.
I would say.
So do you think that price point would have
hurt them? That price point hurt them.
But you think that would have afforded them another 20 million or so sales?
Possibly, because I think if they was $299 or $350, they would have been. They possibly would have been selling. Could have possibly been selling neck and neck later on with the Wii, not early on, because I think the Wii was just such a phenomenon, and the game changer and different people. That blue ocean strategy was real, so we can't deny that. But I think over the grand scheme, yes, Sony probably would have outsold the Wii had the price point been better at the beginning. I feel confident enough to say, yeah, they would have either sold about the same, or cause Nintendo Wii stopped selling after a while. And people start moving to the Xbox and the PlayStation 3 with the
I think
and Kinect.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. Yep.
Right. That's so I think the price was a barrier at the beginning when the price, because when I bought the PlayStation 3 is when they made the Slim and it was $299, and I bought it with Uncharted 2. And I'm going to be honest, I was a PlayStation 3 guy from that point on. The Wii was my secondary, and in many cases my third system, because I was tired of the Wii within 2 years of having it. I was pretty much done with the Wii. Outside of they flagship titles like Mario and Zelda and Metroid Prime, I didn't want to play that way anymore. I didn't want to play the waggle no more. I was done with it. I'm just being real, because it limited you. It limited me from the games I like. I couldn't get the Street Fighters. I couldn't get the fighting games and all the stuff that was coming to the Switch. You couldn't get that with the Wii, and then the Wii U was what it was. Now we getting it with the Switch, and you see where I'm at. I'm playing on Switch all the time versus my PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But the power, the waggle, I was done. I'm gonna be honest, I was done with the Wii. Wii was not my favorite system at all. It wasn't even in my top. It was cool for Wii Sports, but yeah, I didn't want to relive that. So just being real. It had its it had its perks, but it wasn't my preference. But anyway, I'm hurting feelings by saying that. So let me stop. All right, so anything else? I don't have anything, and I got to get off here myself because I got to go meet a guy. So we're gonna have to end right here. We'll try to pick this up the next time because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more information coming out between now and then. So, any final thoughts?
My name is Mark, and
Lord,
I'm here to tell you.
I just want to thank you for tuning in to watch as I talk about the PlayStation 5 and how we've been behind the scenes working on its innards and the new system that we have come up with. We think you will really like it. And I was like, bro, you are killing me, man. All right, anyway, let's go. So go ahead and sign out, K-Bomb.
Yeah, for sure. K-Bomb 20. Enjoy the podcast. And it's funny that I think it's funny that stuff is coming to light because your boy Level was trying hard to get me to buy weed back in the day. Now all of a sudden it wasn't my best system. You know what? That's cool. That's cool.
And at first I was
it's cool. It's cool.
No,
cool. Nope. Because the same reasons you just gave me was the same reason why I didn't want it.
I'm gonna be honest. Man, we supposed to be in it. I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm not going.
Anyway,
I'm trying to be honest. See when you try to be honest and look what he kick you while you're down and everything. Looking back, hindsight. I'm talking from hindsight. Then I was championing the Wii, and I realized my failure.
You would like the Wii K-Bomb. You would like the Wii K-Bomb.
Yeah,
that's all.
Because I wanted it because it was selling like hotcakes, and it was fun for what it was. It was fun.
It was.
But hindsight, no, I don't want that experience again. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want. No, don't do me like that. I mean, as an option, I want a traditional controller, and the Wii remote can be an option for certain games. I'll be there for that. But as the only way to control the game, no, I do not want to go back to that. Because after a while it just got annoying. Like, bro, I just want a controller. I just want a regular controller. And I think Skyward Sword proved that. I got so towards the end, I was happy that game was over. Because I was tired of holding the sword up in the air for the lightning bolt and I was like, man, this is too involved. I just want to swing a button and he's swinging a sword. I don't care about the angle. Well, I mean, it was
lucky
cool.
for you. That was the last game, seemed like.
Yeah, they knew. The writing was on the wall that you could not make a system totally around that type of control. It is as an addition, as something you can go to like virtual reality. It shouldn't be the whole experience. It should be an option to experience this. That's what the Wii remote should have been, an option to a traditional controller, not the controller. And I think that's where they messed up at. And the power. Definitely the power. If the power was better, the Wii remote might have been lasted longer. So that's what I say. People don't throw me out with the water. I'm just trying to be honest. All right. So, Keith, go ahead. Sign out.
Yes, I'm back. I just wanted to tell you about our CPU that we'll be using. It's clocked a little bit lower than what you have in the our competition. No, it's not. No, man, this has been a fun podcast. Let's talk about specs, baby. I ain't gonna let it go. All right, man. No, it's been real, man. Check out that Game Pass. Play games, quarantine, stay safe. Keep 6 feet away from people if you can. You know, shake hands with your elbows at a distance. Social distancing. You know what I'm saying? If somebody come around you, Lysol the air. You know. That's all. All right, man. It's been real.
All right, man. This is Level Head, man. We appreciate all you guys tuning in. Not that many. LT 1984, Dark Sun Rider. We appreciate y'all keeping us company. Like and subscribe and share this cast. And we will see you on the flip side. To the end, folks. I say deuces. Stay away from that Rona. Don't drink no Corona either.
Wait a minute.
Oh, man. All right, man. We out of this joint. Peace.